So I'm live. Sound check there. Let me check out the sound. Let me check out sound if yeah, I got the sound. I got bands. Better shake. My hair's so fucked up, dog. African hair. Yeah, I got the sound. I got bands. Better shake. My hair's so fucked up. So welcome to the One Piece discussion for let me say it's just a One Piece fan discussion, you know. It's been a while since it's not even been a while. I mean each and every day, you know. Wow. The atmosphere changed, you know. I wasn't this excited when I was doing the back stream or anything like that. But I sound lively now. I can this energy drink is so bad. But like covering One Piece or covering the reveal of IMU, it's not the first time we've seen IMU before, you know. I think there are several instances we've seen IMU before even the reverie. We've seen IMU a lot of times. But right now we are seeing a different version of IMU. I won't lie to you, I never thought I would see IMU fight before Shanks, you know. Because I thought Shanks and Kid would give us a good fight, but Shanks just one tapped Kid and it doesn't count. Doesn't count as a fight for Shanks. I really think so. But what was interesting to me, what I can't wrap my head around is the fact that Imu is using someone else as an avatar right now. You know, I don't know which anime has shown us feats like that before, but I've never seen an anime where somebody is being controlled as an avatar. Just 1 hour. And as sound check. Sound check. I really hope this did a trick or something like that. I really hope this did a trick or something like that. Sounds like that. But today we are gonna cover Imu of House Nerona. Danko Ratireji. Thank you for sticking around, bro. Like so today we are going to cover Imu of House Nerona. So starting with the name, Saint Imu of House Nerona, which were the Bruh, like my problems can't get better than this. Nothing is stressing more than streaming right now. But hello Shubs, hello Renosha. Today I'm trying to speak about emo, but my internet and my microphone are doing something else. Sorry about the struggle to those who've been trying to really, really watch the stream because we have a lot to discuss when it comes to emo, besides how the battle will go with emo and Luffy that's upcoming. We are not even sure if emo will face Luffy in that way because I think Luffy would be more worried about Dory and Brogy than looking at emo right now. I think that would be a strong case, or it would be a possibility. But emo from the house of Nerona, like quite a great character that Oda has set up. I didn't think that emo would be such a good character when we got to meet him because having emo use Ganko as an avatar, it leaves a lot of questions. Like, was Ganko in God Valley? You know, was Ganko at God Valley? How long has Ganko been a God Knight? Because the guy who uses thorns, I think it's Saint Somers or something like that. But Saint Somers or Saint Killingham, between the two, I don't know which one uses dreams and something like that to fight. But if Saint Somers was a god knight when Scopa was in Godville with Roger and Rox and the other gang, there are possibilities that Ganko might have been in Godville herself, you know. So having Ganko being at Godville, it changes a lot of things, perspective wise or generally so, because Ganko is in uncharted territory right now. I know the flashbacks didn't show Ganko as a god or something like that, but if if Ganko was there, because Ganko was saving Imo by the time of Rox, or with by Rox's era, Ganko was already a servant for Imo. You know, I don't know if you catch my drift or you understand where I'm trying to go with this, but Ganko has been serving Imo for more than 20 years right now, or for more than 30 years. We don't know when that era happened, the Rox era. Which means that if Ganko was at God Valley, it makes sense why Scopa felt or is used to the haki, or it makes sense why Scopa reacted the way he reacted when he sensed Imu's. Ain't no way that Scopa would be like, no, not that, because Scopa had the most terrifying expression to Imu's conqueror's haki blast. Scopa said that Elbaf should be protected. If Elbaf is not safe, then it means that the world is not safe. You know, you might take that in face value and be like, nah, just because the giants are with Imu, it doesn't mean that the world is unsafe. But we saw what the ancient giants were doing to the One Piece world. They even made all of the giants around the world look terrible. Firstly, I didn't know that there were giants all over the world. I thought giants were from Elbaf, but all of the giants around the world were painted negatively because of the violence of Elbaf and the type of bullshit, man. Bullshit, dog. Like, oh, it's back. I almost died. Almost died. But yeah, the time that giants were running amok around the world, everything got destroyed. We didn't have a chance to see humans develop in a sense. I don't know if you understand. So, from Harold's change on Elbaf, if Emu takes control of Elbaf, I really think that the Giants will take to the oceans and just destroy any nation that is not aligned with Emu. And no one would know what happened, or no one would know who called the shots to destroy those islands. So, Emu having shown some of his abilities, it really feels like Emu's god or devil fruit is like, all in one and one for all from My Hero Academy. It feels like Emu is all in one and then Luffy is one for all, you know? Because Emu's devil fruit is like it can do each and everything. Like Emu can take your lifespan from you. Emu doesn't give you just immortality. He takes your lifespan and then you are immortal. So this brings the question that when you are reversed or you are reversed back to normal after the Dome reversal, what happens to you as an individual? Do you die in that spot, or do you continue to live? Or do you continue to live? Which is something interesting. It is quite the change from older and the use of a book, you know. Because to be frank with you, Emo doesn't cast any spells. Emo doesn't cast spells or anything like that. Emo just puts his hand towards the book and then the book gets out whatever Emo has in his or her imagination, you know. And then to think that there is another transformation for Emo, or the version of Emo that's in Marriage Wise is not the same version of Emo that's in Elbaf right now. Because we've seen three types of emu forms right now. We've seen emu in three forms, John. We've seen emu in Marriage Wise, where he was in his normal shape or form. And then we've seen emu against Sabo when he transformed to that abyss or a monster type shape, you know. And then the final form that we have of emu is emu using Ganko as an avatar, which looks tough. I don't wanna lie, it looks tough, and it keeps the mystery of Emu. Is Emu a man? Is Emu a woman? We don't know yet. We don't fucking know yet. But the way things are progressing, it doesn't sound like Emu is a guy. Or I think that it's irrelevant whether Emu is a guy or not. You know, because I think it's the type of thing that Emo might have lived as a man and might have lived as a woman before. There must have been a way that something like that could have happened, because if if Ganko is the first avatar that Emo used, that changes the story and the type of scenario. If Ganko cannot be alive since the Void Century. Now, Brook is not that old. Brook couldn't be that old. You know. So with the connection from Brook and Ganko, we know the age of Ganko, that Ganko might have been younger than we thought. Like Ganko is still a child compared to the void century or the 100 years that is missing in the world right now. Is that good news? Yes, it is good news, because it shows that Emu has been doing something before that. And in which body was Emu using, or why is Emu using this type of form? Like, can't Emu go out and set sail to the ocean? Or it's not. But I do understand the fact that Emu needs to be hidden from history. That's one thing about Emu that will puzzle you. Like each and every ruler or each and everyone that rules a certain century, they want to be known. They want their fame to be out there, but not Emu. Like, I don't understand how you can have so much power and yet you don't want to be known. How low key or how low can you get, or how humble can you be to resort to Imu's standards stuff, because Imu is showing a different level of leadership that's never been shown in One Piece, nor in history. Okay, there are families who stay in the shadows, like the most richest family. They try to stay away from the spotlights and all that. But what's the reason for Imu to be the ruler if she doesn't want to be known by the populace? I do understand the fact that Imu maybe is trying to destroy the world. That is insane, bro. Emo might be genuinely trying to destroy the world, but why? You know, I understand the reason you might want to end it all or something like that, but why? There is no reason for Imu to destroy the world, but that's Imu's goal. That is what Imu is hoping for. But why does Imu want to destroy the world? Like, as a leader, Imu has it all, dog. He has the power, the freedom. He doesn't have the freedom because it doesn't seem like Imu has the freedom that he wishes to have or that he might want. But what good is destroying the One Piece world for Imu? Because that leaves you with no heaven tribute. Like you can't farm, you can't eat, you can't do anything without the One Piece world. Like it doesn't sound like Imu has been on any adventure ever since he or she was born. Imu is quite a different story. We can talk about Imu the whole day, you know. Because if Gear 5 was if Gear 5 versus Kaido was insane, I don't think we are ready for this kind of hype. If Gear 5 and Kaido was that hard, because I even enjoyed the manga for Gear 5 versus Kaido, you know? And then the One Piece was a few chapters ahead when it comes. You understand the fact that there is always anime and manga. Then the manga is a few chapters, something like that. But the drawing for for this fight scene will be phenomenal. Like we've seen Gear 5 as a drawing, and it's as good as animation, if not better, because Gear 5, when it's drawn by Oda, I feel like it's better than when it's animated, because there are people who only watch anime only. I feel for those people. If you watch anime only, but manga fight scenes go harder it has to look like something. It really has to. Like, we have to take down notes. Who do you think will win between Luffy and Imo? Gear 5 Luffy and this form of Imo, because Imo hasn't shown us everything comes to everything. Like, okay, Imo has shown us a lot. Let me not say Imo hasn't shown us anything, because the attacks of Imo are infused with Conqueror's Haki. Can I just say that? So, if every attack that Imo uses is covered with Conqueror's Haki, that means that Imo is a fighter. It shows that you're a fighter. GG's to those who are going to face Imo in the future. Because I think fighting against Imo won't be easy at all. Because one thing for sure, Mohammed, how are you, Chi? How are you, Mohammed? Nice to have you back, Chi. You know, Imo has an immortality surgery. So with that bed, we saw how Luffy tried to beat the God Knights in Elbaf or in Egghead Island. Like for those who have never seen or for those who are not caught up to Egghead Island, I played indoor foot. To be frank, or to stay in context, I got foul and I was goalkeeper. Oh, so you were goalkeeper? No, can't continue. Look at it, I'm back. What the fuck? Imu is one of the greatest characters to be ever written in One Piece. No cap. Like, if you have hate on Imu, I don't think One Piece is yours. If you have some hate on Imu, because the way Emu is going to fight, dog, is going to shape One Piece in itself. Because Gear 5 was out of character already, but Emu took things to that level. And the way things are now, you cannot go back. Because I feel like Emu has some other attacks that you cannot dodge. Only running for your life might help. You know, those ridiculous attacks like Gear 5. I think Emu will have the same. Emu will have the same. Is it can Emu's dude work as the death note? I don't know. Just write down your name and you die. We'll have to find out, because that would be insane if Emu's book or Emu's magic book could work as the death note. That would be fire. But if that was the case, whenever bounties came out, Emu could have just returned gold Roger a long time ago, and then One Piece could have ended like that. So I don't think that's the case. So Emu just brought a new level of Conqueror's haki to the story. Because we saw this firstly with Joy Boy. When Joy Boy's haki was displayed in Egghead Island. No spoilers to everyone who hasn't watched the manga. But when not Emu, but Joy Boy's haki is in Elbaf, you might swear that it was targeted to someone. You could swear that there was a target behind that attack. It was like when Joy Boy infused that rope with a Conqueror's haki. It was like it was written Emu all over it, or it was written Emu and the Korosei. Because when you think of it, the only person that could, or someone as, or someone that resembles Joy Boy, if they were taken out by something like an admiral or someone weaker, it would have been a disgrace to say. Nkosi yabo. If Luffy was beaten by Kizaru back then, it would have shown that Nika's or Joy Boy's legacy was not as full as we thought. If I am telling you, like, if Luffy was pegged up in Sabayodi Archipelago, or if Luffy died in Sabawood, or if Luffy got arrested in Sabawood Archipelago, like Joy Boy's, Roger's, or Nika's legacy, it would have been destroyed. You know, the spirit of adventure would have been implied that there was only Joy Boy on Imu's level. That's why Imu's conquerors haki. That there was some sort of what's with my internet, dog? What's with my internet? But yeah, already you had it on the mark, dog, because at the first time why Joy Boy's haki was this insane. And to follow it up, they were like, it feels like Shanks's. That's insane. But you saw that they were putting a new power structure, or they were setting up a new level of Conqueror's haki. You know, like could have Skopakabon taught Shanks about this haki? Yes, because Shanks needed a way to protect himself from his family. That's why it scared Imu. Yeah, Imu was shocked because Imu knew who was responsible for that Conqueror's blast. Imu was like, heck nah, that was Joy Boy. Like, to be specific, Imu like that was Joy Boy. Satan, you let this happen because it shows that Luffy is protected not only by his fate, but Nika had put some things to protect Luffy. Joy Boy left something to protect Luffy. Roger left something to protect Luffy, even if it's a tale, dog. Even if it's a tale of a god that will come back sometime, but the people who fight to keep Luffy alive, or the one who inherited the will of Joy Boy and Emu alive, or not Emu, but Joy Boy and Nika, they make sure that he needs to be alive. You know, this is just writing at its best. You know, when you feel like other authors were lazy, and then you watch the work that is done by Eiichiro Oda, it becomes amazing. And for your own input, we don't have all the characters yet, but I think with Roxy's reveal, it's only Imu who hasn't been revealed. You know, to prove that this story has progressed way too far. Okay, it's Joy Boy, Nika, and Imu. Those are the people who haven't been revealed, but images or representations of Nika have been shown before. It's not the first time that we've seen Nika or the representations of Nika. So there is still a lot of characters that we have to arc. It will be the war. It has to be a war. After this arc, it is a flat out war. It's full war, you know, because I feel like this war won't take one day like the one that happened in Marriage Wise. No, I don't feel like this war will be a 1 day war or a 2 day war. Yeah, bro. Yeah, but it's also suspicious why Imo doesn't take care doesn't take care of what's going on in Marriage Wise right now. With others, Haki, we haven't met. Hidden characters we haven't met. Do you think that Imo still has a force behind that we've never because there's still Holy Knights that we haven't seen? Yeah, that's true. But what if the Holy Knights that are left behind are not strong enough to control the that's happening? Yeah, I now understand the context because the Holy Knights that are there, it seems like the Holy Knights are not knights. Is it Holy Knights or it's God Knights? Yeah. If there are other characters with the God Knights, we are cooked. I am telling you, if there are other God Knights, we are really, really. But Shamrock and Ganku are the biggest problems for me. Biggest problems because I understand what you're saying, like Oratile Talk. When I think about it carefully, it's it's truly unlikely because the strongest Holy Knights, as we've seen them, Shamrock and Ganku, they are quite ignorant and these guys have blundered more than Harold. Like, Harold's blunder is more or is more or less better compared to the Holy Knights talk. The Holy Knights have let a lot of shit slip through their hand. You know, if these are the strongest Holy Knights, then Dragon should have attacked. I wouldn't even wait for the Holy Knights or the God Knights to be called to action. I wouldn't do that. When you look at things as they are, dog, Dragon is incapable of beating Emu. I highly doubt. Because if Dragon is at the level of rivaling Emu right now, oh my god, then Dragon is a true monster. If Dragon has the power to go against Emu, I think there's maybe one or two Holy Knights under Shamrock and over Ganko, and the rest, well, we'll see. Yeah, I feel so too. I feel so too because we've seen a sniper when it comes to the God Knights. We haven't seen someone who uses sniper, and we haven't seen a fist fighter, or a martial artist. I think there will be something like that coming into action because as much as the Holy Knights are like random humans, they feel like a pirate crew. With Brooke being there as a singer, it feels like a pirate crew. So does Shamrock have his wings? We don't know. Because Shamrock seems like he's the child of fate when it comes, or the child of destiny when it comes to Maritrise. Shamrock is that kind of kid that is destined to be a Gorosei. When you look at Shamrock, you look at a Gorosei type of figure. So will we see two figure lens as Goroseis? I am not sure. Do you think Shamrock and figure length Galing would be Goroseis at the same time? Heck nah. I'm not sure. But I think this world government needs to get buried. We need to bury the world government. Fully so. Fully so. The world government has no space when it comes to the One Piece world. I don't wanna lie. I just don't wanna lie. And Imu as an you don't see Shamrock as a God's Knight. Me too, I don't see it too because thinking about another God's Knight while you know there's an upcoming war, it doesn't make sense. I feel you what I think of it. But when it is limitless, and at first I thought that we would see maybe a Shanks versus Kobe fight. Where do you think three when it comes to that? No, I think when you put monsters like Ryuma, not Dinzi, Denzel uncedo ngokulalana. Aha, hayi bo mandingahlali, mandingahlali, ndingenayo uncedo. Sound check is better, is quite fine. But oh, guys, like serious things happening. Like I've been checking the insights of my streams, and 75% of my viewers are from South Africa. So should I be speaking our home language on our streams? But no one streams with isiZulu, right? No one. Cabanga, W chat, kwenzakalani lapho? Speaking to someone from Japan, saying it's WhatsApp chat, nithi khambani lapho chat. Ngikhuluma nomuntu ose-Japan, ain't no way. Yeah, but if Cross Guild were to learn about IMU, if Cross Guild were to learn about IMU, what do you think IMU's bounty would be from Cross Guild? Because Cross Guild gives bounties to government authorities, turning the world against the world government. So if Baggy and the gang need to pull up a good stream, I will fuck up the music. Oh, I'm back live. That's good. But like I really